Hello and welcome to AUC TV. I'm Yasmine Bassily. The Egyptian President Abdel al-Sisi was in France to meet with the French President Emmanuel Macron. The press announced that they will be discussing human rights concerns. The organization Reporters Without Borders held a protest in Paris demanding the freedom of the imprisoned Egyptian journalists.
What we do denounce this morning, it's that press freedom is violated every day in Egypt. The President Sisi, who is currently in an official visit in Paris, is a president who wants to mummify journalists. He wants to gag them, to blindfold them. He wants them just to tell official versions, propaganda. Otherwise, they are put in jail, their media are taken over, there are new laws against them. It's impossible today to be an independent and free journalist in Egypt.
They were calling for the help of the jailed journalists while holding a banner stating, "Save Egyptian journalists." The group also raised their photos in support. Moving on to Iraq. On Wednesday, the Kurdish region has offered to freeze its independence vote in an attempt to have dialogue with the government of Baghdad. The majority of Kurds last month voted for independence in a symbolic referendum that Baghdad has refused to acknowledge. Kurdish traders in a bazaar in Erbil felt that the referendum was a mistake that criticized the Kurdish president. Another demand made by the central government was an immediate ceasefire in areas claimed by both the government and the Kurds, where clashes have been taking place since federal security forces were deployed this month. And now to Europe, where a member of the European Parliament told lawmakers on Wednesday in Strasbourg, France, that sexual harassment is a widespread issue across the European Union, and noted that legislative steps must be taken to combat the plague. Terry Rentke from the German political group The Greens held a Me Too banner in support of the social media movement that has shed light on the issue, as she urged the parliament to directly combat violence against women.
Me too. Me too. I have been sexually harassed, just like millions of other people in the just like millions of other women in the European Union. And I think it's about time that we very clearly say that we should not be ashamed, but that the perpetrators should be ashamed. Because sexual harassment is such a widespread problem all over the European Union. And we will need legislative steps in order to combat this problem. And the accession to the Istanbul Convention is a first step, but we will need a directive on the fight against violence against women to really do something about this.
Women that has been in some form or another harassed by their boss, by their colleague, by their teacher, their neighbor, or a stranger in the street. These stories shout to us. It's a feminist outcry from all across the world, from women who said, enough. This is enough. We refuse to be silent. We refuse to accept. We have set aside €6 million last year and 12.7 for this year, and projects across the EU has been a lifeline for many organisations who would otherwise not be able to do the work. And in September, in partnership with the United Nations, the EU launched a major spotlight initiative to eliminate all kinds of violence against women and girls around the world, with an initial investment of €500 million.
Wednesday's debate came after the sexual harassment allegations against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. In the world of extreme sports, a British adventurer flew 24 kilometers across South Africa in a camping chair tied to a bunch of large party balloons. Tom Morgan only had a camping chair for his ambitious balloon trip. His team spent 2 days inflating the balloons after bad weather forced them to move the attempt from Botswana to a location near Johannesburg. Morgan, from the Bristol-based company The Adventurist, reached an altitude of over 2,530 meters in what he described as an experience that was peaceful and terrifying in equal measure.
So this is my navigation device, alongside obviously some electrical ones, but from this we can see it lacks a little bit in granular detail, but Broadly speaking, oh, there's a bit of a shadow. Broadly speaking, I'm here and I'm flying to here currently. Hopefully I don't end up here or here, but I think we've got quite good control, so I think we'll stay roughly around here. Sitting here on a cluster balloon, floating across Africa.
He landed back on solid ground after about 2 hours, having had to pop the balloons as he received reports of strong winds approaching. Morgan also plans to organize the world's most ridiculous air race and said the flight left him more convinced than ever about the feasibility of the event. And now to music. On Wednesday, New Zealand judge Helen Cole ordered a Conservative National Party to pay Eminem's publisher $415,000 plus interest after breaching copyright by using Eminem's song Lose Yourself in their television campaign ad 186 times. The New Zealand High Court featured unfamiliar moments where gone lawyers listened carefully to Eminem's Lose Yourself. Another moment was when Jeff Bass, Eminem's collaborator, played the song's distinctive opening riff. Gary Williams, Eminem's music publisher, also added that he was glad that the rap star did not need to come all the way from Detroit.
This wasn't an easy proceeding for my clients to deal with. They're based in Detroit. They had to come here, particularly for the trial. It was a reasonably long trial, and it's not easy in those circumstances to defend a copyright claim like this. But what it does say is it illustrates the seriousness with which my clients view the need to protect the Eminem compositions in their catalogue, and it would be fair to say that my clients aggressively defend their rights.
Moving on to the animal kingdom. The birth of an endangered subspecies of the rhino is considered a small but important step forward in efforts to protect the endangered species from extinction. The eastern black rhino was born on the 2nd of October in a 180-acre zoo located in the Czech Republic.
Kondici všechno probíhá tak, jak má. Ta etoška má dostatek mléka, není tam v podstatě žádný zádrhel, takže nemělo by se nic stát, pokud by nenastala nějaká mimořádná událost, nějaký úraz nebo něco neočekávaného, tak si myslím, že tohle by mělo dopadnout jako dobře.
Curator Jan Zederik says the calf is in good shape and will most likely be staying with her mother for at least a couple of years. After that, she might join 4 others from the zoo that were taken to their native habitat in Africa. Zederik says that it is still not clear whether efforts to save the eastern black rhino will be successful. This was the AUC newscast. I'm Yasmine Bassily. Thank you for watching.